Nikola Jokic just won the biggest prize in basketball. His contract is worth $276 million. But the night he won his MVP trophy, he was in a barn, wearing an old shirt, standing next to his horses, in a small town most people have never even heard of.
Most people think every rich basketball player lives the exact same way. Big houses, fast cars, chains around their neck, a crowd of people following them everywhere they go. And Jokic has enough money to have all of that, easily. He just never wanted it. To understand why, you have to go back to where he came from. He grew up in a small town in Serbia called Sombor, not a big city, not a place with tall buildings or bright lights, just quiet streets and open fields. His family didn't have a lot of money back then. He shared a small 2-bedroom home with his parents, his grandma, and his 2 older brothers. No fancy stuff, no expensive toys. What he did have was basketball outside with his brothers and his family's horses in the field behind the house. That's it. That's where his whole personality was built. And here's the surprising part. Even after he became one of the best basketball players alive, that part of him never changed.
Let's fast forward. Jokic gets drafted into the NBA. But it's not some huge, exciting moment like you'd expect. He gets picked 41st overall, which basically means almost every team passed on him. Some people even joke that when he got drafted, he was back home eating ice cream, barely paying attention, because nobody expected much from him. But that's exactly where his story starts to flip.
He worked and got better and better until he became the best player in the entire league. 3 times NBA MVP, an NBA champion, one of the greatest to ever play his position. Therefore, the money started coming in. Big money. A contract extension worth $276 million, a salary of over $55 million a year, endorsement deals with big companies. He became one of the richest athletes on the planet. But here's where most players in his position would change.
New house in Miami, new cars, new crowd of people around them. Jokic didn't do any of that. Every single summer when the season ends, he doesn't fly off to some beach or big city to relax and be seen. He flies straight home to Sombor to take care of his family's horses, same as when he was a kid. His own teammates have noticed this. One of them said that when they walk through Jokic's hometown together, the people there don't even treat him like a famous superstar. They still just see him as the boy who used to help out at the stables. And instead of that bothering him, it's exactly what makes him happy. Now here's the part of the story that most people miss completely. This isn't just about him being humble. This is actually really smart. Think about what most rich athletes spend their money on. Sneaker lines, fancy restaurants, flashy cars that lose value the second you drive them off the lot. A lot of that stuff looks cool for a little while, but it doesn't last. Jokic spent his money differently. He put it into horses and land back in his hometown. Not flashy, not for showing off on social media, but something real, something that keeps growing in value for years and years. He left Nike, one of the biggest sneaker deals in the sport, and signed instead with 361 Degrees, a Chinese sportswear company most Americans have never heard of. It's not small though. 361 Degrees pulled in over $1.4 billion in revenue in 2025 alone. It just doesn't chase American hype the way Nike or Adidas does. He also holds deals with Panini America, Western Union, and Hotels.com. Not the flashiest names in sports marketing. Steady, long-term partners instead. The biggest surprise happened off the court completely. The Nuggets offered Jokic a new extension, 4 years, $278 million, ready to sign right now. Almost anyone else takes that instantly. Jokic said no, because if he waits until 2027, he becomes eligible for a 5-year, $359.5 million deal instead. That's $81.5 million more for 1 extra year of patience. Therefore, while people online joke about him looking sleepy or lazy or like he doesn't even care about basketball, the numbers tell a different story. This is a 3-time MVP turning down guaranteed millions today because the math says something bigger is coming if he waits. His current contract already pays him over $51 million a year. His career earnings sit north of $200 million. And he still lives in the same $4.5 million home in Cherry Hills Village, Colorado, he's had for years. Back home in Sombor, Serbia, he owns horses that compete in harness racing, an investment that's grown quietly for years, far from any NBA spotlight. So the guy everyone online jokes about being too chill, the guy who looks like he'd rather be anywhere else but the basketball court, he's turning down $278 million because he's confident the number gets bigger. That's not laziness, that's leverage. Genius move, or is he leaving fame and power on the table by staying so low-key? Let me know what you think.